Alright, welcome to the Greasy tool review. As you can tell, got some Greasy tools here. These are ryobi, or the Home Depot ryobi kit that you can buy. It's like $160 on Christmas sale. I have had these drills for approximately two and a half years now, so they've gotten quite a bit of use. Not so much this one, because I don't do too much hand drilling, but the Impact has had plenty of use. I do a lot of automotive, part-time automotive repairs and small engine power equipment repairs. It's kind of a hobby business I have, so as you can tell, I have quite a bit of equipment in here that I work on. So these see a fair bit of use. I'm on the second set of batteries. The original batteries have wore out, partly because they were submerged in salt water. So that is one thing, these drills are not waterproof. They are brush drills, so if you get them wet, dry them out, they'll be fine. But if you submerge them, the batteries will die. No matter if you take the battery apart and dry it out, it's got some kind of circuit on it to where it will not accept a charge ever again. They're lithium power. They work quite well. I mean, that one sounds good, you know. That one sounds good. Things I like about them, things I don't like about them. One, this rubber coating they put on these things, it gets nasty, it's sticky. You get oil and grease on there, it starts getting nasty and breaking down. Another thing, it so happens that rodents like this stuff. You can see they're starting to chew on it. This one, as you know, it's used, but it doesn't nearly have the hours that this one does. It's nice that it comes with a bubble level. The problem is, like most modern tools, unless you spend an arm and a leg for it, the gear train is plastic, I believe. Because they have a spot in this gear train to where if you get to it, it will slip. I've never used the slipper clutch on it, because I always just drill with it. I don't use it to run in screws or anything, that's why I got this. For drilling, it works great. Only problem with just about all hand drills is you're trying to drill, you never get it straight. This is nice as if you're drilling horizontally, but I rarely drill horizontally. Most of the time you're running the screw in. I would like to see is a central bubble right in the center there, to where you're drilling straight down into something, you know when you're perfectly centered. That'd be a nice feature if it had that. Yeah, people are starting to shoot fireworks off. It's New Year's Day. Now with this one, I've had it 2.5 years or so. I would say it's been through at least 100 battery lives. I mean, I've used it a few days to where I've run the battery 5 times through it, so it's had quite a bit of use. Over the time I've had it, the chuck is starting to get worn to where the bits in it will get stuck. So if you sit there hammering on, say if I put a little 1/4-inch socket in there, it'll get stuck to where you can pull this and you can't get out. You got to run it in reverse to loosen it up. So the chuck is starting to get worn. Another thing I noticed is I think the hammers are starting to get worn internally because it's not hitting as hard as it used to. Granted, it never hit really hard. I think it's rated in inch pounds when it comes from the factory. I don't remember specifically what it was, but I know I can break it loose with a 3/8 ratchet, what this can't do. This can do just about anything you can do with a 1/4-inch ratchet, I've noticed. Like say, taking wheels off of a 4-wheeler. Most of the time it can remove the wheels. I won't trust it to tighten them back up the way they need to be. I'll run it up with this, but then I'll follow with the normal ratchet to get the torque that I want. As battery life goes, depends what you're doing. Just running in, say if you're putting screws on the floor, putting together some framing, hanging some pictures on the wall, these will do great for you. They come with a nice charger. I'll show you that real quick. It's a charger. I have a battery charging right now. It still works perfect. Charges in about half an hour if the battery's totally flat. It will not charge if the batteries are hot. So if you work them hard, it's not going to charge. If you let the battery get too cold, like this weekend's going to freeze, it will not charge. They have to be within a certain temperature. It's a problem with lithium batteries, but they last for a long time and they have power until they just quit. That's it. They don't kind of drop down slow like the old batteries. Comes with a carry case. I use it to carry other junk now because drills just stay out easy to get to. What's nice about these, like most of the main tool brands now, they all use one battery. So you have Ryobi, they have a ton of different tools, use one kind of battery. These drills originally came with 2 batteries and the charger. I bought a pack of 2 more batteries because it killed one, and the other one I have is starting to get wore out. But what's nice is if you get DeWalt or any of those other ones, they all fit one battery. With the Ryobi brand specifically, I have a grinder, I have a little miniature vacuum, I have several assorted sawzalls, a jigsaw, battery operated circular saws. I mean, so the possibilities are pretty good with these. They're not professional quality, but for home use they're pretty good. Or say if you are doing commercial work, they're cheap enough to where you can buy a set of these, like 2 or 3 sets, so have like 4 or 5 of these floating around, and if one breaks, they're cheap enough to replace. If you go buy a Hilti or a more expensive tool, you break it, you're looking at another $500. Granted, it's going to take a lot to break, but say if you lose a battery, you got to go find a Hilti battery. Those are expensive. These, it's like $50 for another set of batteries. So, once again, it's your price point, what you're doing. Mine are 2.5 years old. They're still working fine. This one's only just starting to get some to where the teeth are starting to fall apart. That's probably also operator error, trying to do something I shouldn't have. This one, besides the coating starting to get nasty, like most tools do nowadays with the rubber on it, is pretty good. So, take it with a grain of salt. They get my approval. They're cheap. They get the job done. There's a lot of things you shouldn't be doing with these things that they can do. So, and they've worked in a dusty marine environment. So I work on boats with these sometimes. They get salt in them. This one personally has been submerged in salt water. Still works. Still works flawless. Both directions. So, keep your batteries dry. These things will last just about forever as long as you don't drop them off a roof or something. Hope you enjoyed the video. There's more to come. Have a nice day.